Welcome back to the Nikki Clarke Show. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki Clarke, and I am ecstatic to be back with another stellar interview of someone who is just an inspiration for so many. Today we are shining a spotlight on a remarkable young entrepreneur who is redefining success at an early age. At just 13 years old, he launched her own business and has grown into a recognized brand across Canada. So please join me in welcoming the inspiring Chanelle Chalazan. Welcome,
Yeah, thank
Chanelle.
you so much for having us.
Fantastic. And shout out to Mr. Wayne Chalazan. Thank you so much for joining us as well as Chanelle's amazing father. Thank you.
Thank you.
So let's
Thank you
ask
very
the
much.
first question. You're welcome.
Mhm.
Now, you started your business at just 13 years old. I mean, I was 13. Business was far from my train of thought. It was probably watching Welcome Back, Cotter. But what inspired you to take that leap into entrepreneurship so early?
I've always had a passion for bling and sparkle, and I think he's an entrepreneur himself. He's in the construction field, so I think watching him be an entrepreneur, and I think kind of started that idea. And like I said, I've always had a passion for bling and sparkle. So seeing my mom play with her jewelry and everything grew that idea to jewelry. So I think they both kind of interconnected for me to start my jewelry business.
That makes sense. And I love bling. So we are
Yes.
bling sisters in that respect. So, how did the idea for Chic and Charmed Boutique come to life?
Like I said, I've always had a passion for bling and sparkle, and I think when I started selling on Facebook Marketplace, so becoming and designing jewelry. So I put some designs up there, and it turned into one person coming a day to the house to buy to 20 people coming a day to buy. And I think that's when we both realized that this could be a real big business.
Absolutely. So your brand is known for its signature crystal ball jewelry. So what makes your design so unique?
So there's lots that goes into our designs. We have all different designs. So I think when I see something traveling or online, I make it into a design. And what's different compared to ours is ours are actually waterproof compared to our competition.
Okay.
We have a waterproofing spray that goes over it, and ours are a quarter of our price of our competition because we don't have any stores, we don't have any rent. So we bring that down so we can keep it affordable for all our
Mhm.
clientele.
That makes absolute sense. I love that. So what were some of the biggest challenges you faced starting and growing your business at such a young age?
I think having that time management between school and the business, I think when I started, he said that school comes first and you have to keep
Right.
good grades there. And I'm in the high 90s, so I'm not too worried. But I think me
Beautiful.
prioritizing what I needed to prioritize, if school was first, that came first, and then the business, and finding that time management between the two.
What's your favorite subject?
Um, I've always kind of liked art a little bit, but math a little bit more. Not the hardcore kind of math, but yeah, I kind of like everything equally in school as well.
Amazing. I'm a former teacher, so I
Oh,
had to
yeah.
ask. Oh, yes. So how did you build your brand through trade shows and marketing strategies like billboard advertising?
Yeah, so at first we were just really in person, just coming to the house, and then we started doing trade shows. And we did a small trade show. We have a little small town called Warman in Saskatchewan here, so I started doing that show. That was our first show, and we've got really good feedback from that show. So he kind of told me to go full throttle, and we did bigger shows in Saskatoon. And then our first kind of out of town show was Calgary, and then we started going to Toronto and Vancouver and expanding there. And I think while we did our Canada wide tour, we also did billboards and we did radio and getting our name out that way. Because with the billboard, my idea was to start that because when you look on the streets, who's on the billboards? You see big companies, you see fast food restaurants, you see real estate agents. And I thought, how do you make a business be well known and get big even faster? Put billboards out and get your name out there and going on interviews like this and podcasts and just expanding and connecting with other people.
You're brilliant. I'm so impressed. So
Thank
let's ask
you.
Mr. Wayne, what do you think about your daughter's success?
At first, I didn't know what exactly she wanted to do. She started playing with earrings with my wife's earrings, and then she went got something that looked kind of nice together, and then she wanted to do a trade show. So we started the first trade show, and when she actually, I was impressed at how much she made at the first trade show for being a 13-year-old. And I said, you might have a business here. So we started investigating more and doing a little more work into it. And I started finding more contacts for her to grow a little bit. So I said, let's expand here and start doing the Canada-wide tour here. If you want to get your name out, let's start going to bigger shows. She went to the Calgary Stampede, then she went to Toronto, Vancouver, Ottawa, and then she's exactly branching out where she should be into the bigger companies now.
Or bigger cities, yeah.
Bigger cities.
Yeah.
And we started comparing prices to the other companies. And I said, listen, you don't have a store. You don't have any employees. Let's take that right off the top. Let's make it affordable so all the girls could have a pair of earrings, not just the people with money. And you know what? Her prices are about a quarter the price of our competition. I know they don't like to hear that, but the thing is, she has no overhead to pay. So I'd rather see people buy more earrings, or have even people that don't have money can at least have a pair of earrings. And that's where the plan came up, how to grow your business. And ever since we did it that way, she's expanding now, picking different colors, trying to make different designs, always trying to grow. But I said to stay in that what you're doing. Don't start expanding too fast, because you start expanding too fast, you lose control of everything.
Very wise words. And you've been in the construction business for how long now?
Oh, for the last 50 years. I build houses for a living, so that's how I kind of guided how we came up with the pricing. I said, when you do a house for $1 million, it takes you a year to sell. But when you do a house for $400,000, you sell it the same week. So I said, let's keep this business model in the same kind of opening there, so that you can sell your earrings. I'd rather see all the girls at McDonald's wear a pair of earrings than just the people that have $100 bill.
That is brilliant. So I have to commission you one day, Chanelle, to make maybe purple. If you notice, I like lavender.
Yes.
Some crystal ball jewelry for me. Thank you so much, Mr. Wang. So, as a young entrepreneur, how do you balance it all? School, the business, friends, family?
I think you have to have that ambition and drive, and have that mindset to have everything going. I have my drive and my ambition with my business, but I also have ambition and drive at school, and I prioritize my time of what needs to be, done first and second. And I have great time management, and my friends are very great with me, and they're very supportive, and I have a great support system with my dad and my mom, and all my clientele, and I think everything comes together and it works great.
Wonderful. So the question I have for you is, how do your friends look at what you're doing? I imagine that most of them are probably your best clientele, but you must be such an inspiration for them.
I think I am. I think they look up to me as well. You see me in school, but they also look up to me in, career-wise and business-wise. And I think I was just talking to my other friend, and I was on a podcast, Canadians Entrepreneur, and she said, she was very proud of how far I came, because, we just became friends last year, and, I was just starting kind of a little bit and getting a little bit bigger then. And she said, I've completely just went full throttle, and I'm a little bit bigger now, and she was very proud of me. So I think lots of my friends are proud of me.
Absolutely. And have you any idea where you get your talent from for jewelry making? Is it something that you watched, or maybe somewhere in the lineage?
I think with me just designing, at first I was making my own. And then once we started getting a little bit bigger, it was just too much, because if you've seen my trade show table, it would take me 2 months to do. So now we have a local supplier based in BC. My brother is a doctor, so we could use some of his chemists, and his chemists have suppliers, and we all connected there. And I think now I design and pick out the color, so it still feels personal. And I think with designing, it's just, I love designing. If I see something traveling, or, online, or even, just driving, you see a different color, I just make it into reality.
That's beautiful. You're an incredible visionary as well. So winning the Saskatchewan Wedding Industry Award is a big achievement. Congratulations on that.
Thank
What
you.
did that moment, you're welcome, mean to you?
I think when we first kind of started, I was doing lots of custom orders for bridal shows and favors. So it was an amazing night to just to connect with the industry and the wedding industry in general, and winning that award just meant so much, to be recognized by everybody in the industry and to have a little bit of a piece of achievement that you can actually see and you can show, and it gives you something you can show for your work.
Fantastic. So what message do you hope your journey sends to other young people, especially young girls who may want to start a business?
My advice would be, even to young girls, anybody young, even to anybody, older people as well, turn any no or maybe into a yes and be a risk taker. Because you look at me, if you think about a year and a half or 2 years ago, I was just starting out. And if I wouldn't have done all the things I've done and said yes and, gone across the country and done interviews and podcasts, and I wouldn't be where I am today. And I think you have to take that leap of faith and keep moving forward. And there's going to be hard times and rough ships in the business field. Sometimes you go to a show, it doesn't work out, or somebody doesn't like your product, but you have to keep pushing forward and keep moving forward.
That's fantastic. So what's next for Chic and Charm Boutique?
We're expanding more into Canada, so we have 30 cities booked for this year for shows, and
Beautiful.
I'm designing 30 different colors of hoops now. So designing more different products, and getting our name out in different cities, and just kind of going even harder now.
Wow, I am so, so proud of you. Thank you so much for sharing, a little bit of your journey, and I'm excited to see what's next. So please tell us how we can support you online.
Absolutely. So you can follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Chic and Charm by Chanelle, and we also have our beautiful website, chicandcharmjewelry.com. You can shop at.
Amazing. Thank you so much for spending some time with us, sharing the great work that you're doing. And I have to say that any great person like yourself, young entrepreneur, you have an amazing support system around you. And I see that through Mr. Wayne Chalazan. So thank you, sir, for pouring into Chanelle and helping her to become the great entrepreneur she is. So I have a suggestion for you, maybe something
Absolutely.
you've already considered. How about Dragon's Den? Would you?
We were actually inquired to go, and I turned them down because I want to keep all my company. I want to keep all my percentage in my company. And you know what? When you think about it, it might take me an extra 5 to 10 years to get where they could have got me in a year, but I own everything and it's still personal to me.
I love it. You own everything. Pearls of wisdom. Thank you so much, Chanelle Chalazan. I so appreciate you spending the time here and inspiring us all. And I wish you all the best. And please keep in touch. Love to have you
Absolutely.
back on the show to share more about all the great things you're doing. All
Absolutely.
right.
Thank you so much for having us.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Well, you've been watching the Nikki Clarke Show with the amazing Chanelle Chalazan, the founder of Chic and Charm Boutique. Please follow her on social media and support young entrepreneurship. We'll see you back next time with another transforming lives story and making an impact in a very powerful and positive way. Bye for now.
Thank you.
Thank you.